It's 2013 and India is progressing rapidly. With new cities and townships being planned, the country will require more than double the number of Tier 1 and Tier 2 cities in the coming decade. Not just residential, but space for industrial, institutional and commercial entities will be high on demand. Fueling this growth are two major metropolitan centers in India, Mumbai and Delhi NCR. But while most of the Mumbai metropolitan region has been rendered saturated or is considered overpriced, Delhi NCR continues to grow and expand its boundaries.
The Delhi government really did not promote industry business, largely because I think the government wasn't very proactive. There's also been a huge short supply of land for development into corporate or leasing, commercial leasing projects. So because of which people wanted a destination which is in close proximity to Delhi, and Noida took advantage of that. And I think the government has been more proactive in organizing this. So what Delhi did not do, I think the state government of Uttar Pradesh has been able to do, and thus attract that investment.
The world's third largest urban agglomeration, Delhi NCR, is home to more than 20 million people. Early on in the decade, with the turn of the century, Gurgaon was declared the Millennium City. And corporates and IT giants in the world over set up offshore offices in the search for cost effectiveness. Fast forward to today. For all practical purposes, Gurgaon has withered away its advantage, as the cost of developing the land and owning it has shot through the roof.
Some of the larger ITS companies who previously never looked at Noida, but because the Gurgaon real estate pricing has almost gone up by 2.5x, whilst originally in the 2004 and 5 and 6, Gurgaon was affordable. They're now trying to keep their real estate costs under check. So they're trying to achieve the same cost from a real estate perspective as they had in Gurgaon between those years. So which they're able to get opportunities through private developers at that price point and that quality of product, which they were getting in Gurgaon in 2004 to 6, because of which a lot of absorption has been seen. So they're sort of capping their growth in NCR and Gurgaon, and they're saying that, look, let us look at Noida as an alternate at the same price point.
One of the major reasons for Gurgaon losing favor with investors today is the sorry state of infrastructure, where blueprints for town planning and infrastructure like metro and highways were laid out after the investors had set up shop. Hence, destinations like Manesar and Sona, which were previously considered to be far-flung, have been noticed by realtors willing to develop the area. But entities willing to invest also prefer proximity to Delhi. One region with a check mark on all the necessities for an upcoming corporate and an infrastructure that is unmatched virtually anywhere in India will usher in the dawn of a new NCR, Greater Noida.
The government of UP decided in 1976 to develop this area which we call it Noida. It's Naveen Okhla Development Authority. To develop is a unique authority which has residential, institutional and industrial. And out of land distribution you will see 65% land is for residential, institution and industry purpose, and rest 35% is for green cover and for infrastructure development. This is the only authority in India which first create the infrastructure, then you give you the opportunity to come and invest here.
The advantages offered by the Greater Noida region are quite unique. planned townships and the presence of world-class infrastructure even before any investments were unheard of in India before. Even when Noida boarded the investment bandwagon slightly later than its other proactive counterparts, the region caught the imagination of the next round of investors. From realtors, IT corporates, manufacturing giants and people interested in making it their permanent residence, Noida is fast scripting its own success story.
We will have a lot of foreign visitors who are used to seeing campuses in Bangalore and in other places of the country. So we have to compete and we have to match the facilities that these people see in places like Bangalore, which have been IT destinations for over 20 years now. So we see a great potential in this in terms of our communication and the facilities that are available. As opposed to Gurgaon, there is no problem in terms of water and these things. I like the openness of Noida. I mean, you go and drive between Noida and Greater Noida, you have wide open fields, which is not what you see in Delhi. I think there is much less pollution over here. So I think it's all positive, and I'm sure that this will be a great destination.
One of the other reasons for the global spotlight on Noida is the proactive nature of the ruling administration. Early on, at the start of the decade, the Noida Authority realized that in order to attract investments, prices of property and other amenities should be regulated so as to attract the low to middle income group.
Gurgaon seems to have better visibility among various companies and recognition across the world. But Noida clearly is showing growth which is higher than Gurgaon, infrastructure which is better than Gurgaon. Though challenges of law and order and some of the other issues continue to concern companies, it is showing better growth than Gurgaon.
But it was the NRIs that showed much interest in investing in the region because of its structured town planning. Today, the Greater Noida region commands premium appeal, with most of its investors belonging to the middle to high income level group.
As compared to Gurgaon, Noida got its share of good, big multinational brand names almost a decade later. So while all the big back office companies, BPOs, the large technology companies, the banks' back offices, all of them went to Gurgaon in the mid-90s to mid-2000s. For Noida, it started only in mid-2000s and it is still continuing. But now if I look at the total base of companies which are there, which has companies like Sapient or Barclays Shared Services or TCS, Oracle, IBM, HCL, I think Noida has done a very good job of getting the big brand names out there. And it's a matter of time before there will be more agglomeration of such companies, because once the big mover shaker names like these come to town, then obviously it excites other smaller companies to come to town as well. So I think sooner or later Greater Noida is poised to go into the second round of office development, where even the mid and small size companies will follow through now that the big giants have come.
After we come back from the break, we take a deeper look into the advantages of infrastructure and the connectivity options that Greater Noida offers. Stay tuned. As soon as we leave the borders of Delhi, we're greeted by a smooth 9.2-kilometer Delhi-Noida direct highway. But that's just the starting point. What is extended further connecting Noida to Greater Noida? A 25-kilometer, 6-lane highway that's built for the future. Thousands of vehicles take the highway every day to reach Greater Noida. It's also used as a transit to reach other parts of Uttar Pradesh. Modern, fast and built to last, this is the Greater Noida Expressway. At the start of the expressway, you'll find a specialized region meant for IT and educational institutes. The Noida Tech Zone, as it's called, houses IT conglomerates from around the world. Together, educational institutes like Amity University and the adjoining residential areas make up the Noida extension.
Walk to your workplace. They possibly understood that concept very well. So within Tech Zone, if you want to develop, a housing or a guest house or bachelor accommodation and also the workplace, you can do it. It is permitted. So that's the thought process which has gone to creating the Tech Zone policies, if I say so. The second thing is a very, very healthy FAR. It's 1.87%, which is a very healthy FAR because, of course, there are rules that so much of ground cover has to be left and so much of ground cover you are allowed. And, so that green cover is left. But apart from that, since the FAR is very healthy and because of Noida and Greater Noida can afford to have a very good height of building, and that's another good reason. So you can achieve those FAR. So you make far more, it's very advantageous situation to set up your facility in Greater Noida or Noida because not only you can maintain and manage the greenery in a premises, you can leave so much of ground cover, and you can also take advantage of the high FAR and create a more square footage into Tech Zone.
Further up, as we touch the expressway again to reach the center point of Greater Noida, Bari Chowk, huge signboards guide us to what would be a model for high-speed on-road connectivity in India, the Yamuna Expressway. Often referred to as the Indian version of German autobahns, the Yamuna Expressway is built to handle high-volume, fast-moving traffic with safety as one of its key points. Not only for tourism, the expressway will also prove beneficial to farmers of the milk-rich belt of Mathura and Aligarh to sell their produce in markets of Delhi NCR. It's expected to ease traffic on the jam-packed NH2, which connects Faridabad, Ballabgarh and Palwal.
The NCR has grown to a level where it cannot be seen as a singular city anymore. And I think the regions which will emerge are those which have access to open spaces, clean air, abundant water, as well as very, very clearly jobs. And if we are to truly reap the demographic dividend, I think there will have to be substantial investment into skilling. And we've been finding that Greater Noida actually has all of that within the broader region, and which is why we really like it from a midterm perspective. And it's really well connected from everywhere with additional future infrastructure planned in. The Yamuna Expressway should really be a major catalyst for development all the way to Agra.
Currently sporting 6 lanes, the expressway that can handle more than 100,000 vehicles a day can be expanded to accommodate 8 lanes in the future. Greater Noida West, on which the expressway starts, also sports a world-class Formula One circuit that has put the region on the global recreation map.
It is quite exciting. It's quite exciting because it also brings foreign tourism over there. It also brings a certain very different vibration to the whole place, which is typically not found in Indian towns and cities. So given that, there is a whole lot of excitement, and it's exciting the more premium segments of investors and buyers. If the authorities continue to show the same proactiveness which they have till now, and if this trend continues, over a decade or so, Greater Noida has the potential to take on Gurgaon on an equal footing.
With such structured town planning and a proactive administration, it isn't surprising that Greater Noida has ranked 17th among the cleanest cities in India. After we come back from this break, we take a look at the Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor and its effect on the growth of Greater Noida. Stay tuned. 6-lane expressway, upcoming metro and airport connectivity, modern town planning, underground cabling and ample groundwater supply, a host of IT and manufacturing companies, affordable housing, Formula One circuit, a modern controlled access highway. Greater Noida seems to have it all. While the government has succeeded in establishing facilities even before the population explosion overtakes NCR over the next decade, the next challenge for the administration will be in creating social amenities.
I think the next challenge for Greater Noida is going to be in terms of developing social amenities, which is not as easy as developing hard infrastructure. So yes, there are a few things which still need to be done to take Greater Noida to the next level, such as continued governance, controlled law and order situation, and a good focus on building social amenities, of which F1 track is, I guess, the first. So if that continues, Greater Noida could be a better proposition to live in over a period of time than what places like Gurgaon or even Delhi NCR offers,
The region of Greater Noida also lies within the ambitious Delhi-Mumbai Industrial Corridor, a joint venture between the Government of India and the Government of Japan, covering more than 1,400 kilometers across 6 states that will be built at a cost of over $90 billion.
For the IT parks, there is an identified area for IT parks for small industry, because our focus is on small scale industries. We have identified area for small scale industries. For logistic hub is there. There is a flower you call mandi is there proposed, and there are so many other things we have. This is the only area we have proposed. We have our planning to have our own 2,000 megawatt power generation plant. NTPC plant is there for the electricity.
With more and more residents expected to make Greater Noida and Greater Noida West their homes in the coming time, amenities for social living too will become important with time. In the early 2000s, Greater Noida was known only for its educational institutions. Amity University, Galgotia Group of Institutions, Birla Institute of Management Technology, nearly all the big names in the education sector invested here early on. Presence of educational institutions promoted residential townships along with investments from the IT sector.
Recent studies by NASSCOM as well as the Future Institute have shown that the Greater Gurgaon and the Greater Noida areas are the two areas, the two geographies in the NCR that have the maximum potential for employment. Essentially, this is where the jobs are. And it is keeping in sync with that and following that we have chosen to focus on Greater Noida as a specific destination. This is also further compounded by the fact that within the entire NCR, there are very few locations where housing is still affordable. Clearly, the Greater Noida, Yamuna Expressway areas emerge as that.
But with growing population, the need for specialized infrastructure was felt. The Noida Authority decided to create dedicated facilities for education by creating the Gautam Buddha University and Knowledge City. Sports facilities are already present in the Sports City in Greater Noida. Golf aficionados also have the luxury of indulging in the sport at the 18-hole JP Greens Golf Course, one of the largest in Asia and the winner of several accolades and awards. But the highlight of recreation in Greater Noida is just a few sunsets away, a proposed night safari park that only few other regions around the world can boast of.
When F1 was announced and still the time it was being built, there was growth in the real estate prices in that area. Having said that, this would be more of the night safari would more of a tourist attraction than anything else, which I would say would give a good boost to the hotels which have been planned all around the Noida Expressway, which leads to Greater Noida.
Small investors, exhibitors and manufacturers flock regularly to the Exposition Mart in Greater Noida, an exhibition ground replete with modern facilities that's as good as the famous Pragati Maidan in neighboring Delhi. With rising income levels and social status, and a perspective that matches that with its global counterparts, Indians will demand more from its administrators, and Greater Noida will be ready for the challenges of the future.